It's a beautiful day, you've knocked off work for the week, you've got plenty of stuff around you, plenty to see, plenty to do. You want to get off the beaten track for a little bit, but there are a few problems with getting off the beaten track, and that's of course breaking down or getting bogged. This video is all about basic vehicle recovery. Right, for basic vehicle recovery, you should always carry a few basic things with you. Number one, of course, is a toolkit, which is important for general breakdown, for any sort of maintenance that needs to be done to the vehicle. Number two is a decent, strong, sturdy length of rope, which can be used in a bog situation to either tow yourself out or to assist to tow someone else out. Number three is a jack. I've chosen the hydraulic jack, basically a lot easier to use. Any sort of vehicle jack I suppose is handy, but make sure that it can handle the vehicle's weight. Number three is the shovel, then again for use in bog situations where you might have to dig yourself out. And finally, we've got a set of gloves, which basically is pretty self-explanatory, prevents blisters, makes work a little bit easier on your hands, and generally can be used for anything. Yep. Your worst fear has happened, you've been bogged. The kids are screaming, the wife's abusing you, telling you she knows you should have gone to your mother-in-law's place, but you know you're doing the right thing, and as long as you can prove to them that you know what to do and how to get out of this sort of situation, you'll still be in the clear. As you can see, this is a typical sort of situation where you think you can get through, you've gotten through, but you've lost a bit of traction while you're in the middle of it, making the wheels spin. The more the wheels spin, the deeper you get. So number one point at this stage is once you realise you've bogged, don't try and debog yourself by spinning the wheels. You only dig yourself in further. Once you're bogged, just leave it at that and we'll rescue the car now. There's two ways you can get out of this. The first one is to dig your way out and try and get out. But the way I'm going to show to you is probably a little bit more complex, but it'll actually help in a lot more different bog situations. Firstly, is remove some of the mud from in front of the wheel or behind the wheel, depending on which way you want to go. Now in this case we want to go forward, so we'll take some mud out from the front. Okay, now once you've dug enough mud away from in front of the wheel, you want to really put something solid there so you can place the jack on top of it and the jack's not going to sink. You can either look around for a reasonably flat piece of wood, some leaves or other sort of material. In this case, what we're actually going to do is utilise the shovel and actually use that, like that, as a base for the jack. Right, by now you should be very familiar with your vehicle's jacking spots. Make sure you use them because that's going to save a lot of body damage, and the car's not going to slip off the jacking points. It's going to make it a lot easier for everything. Once you position the jack under the vehicle on the shovel or other bits of wood or whatever, you just proceed to jack the car up. Stop it, man. Right, by now you should be very aware with your vehicle jacking positions and different support positions on the vehicle. It's going to prevent the vehicle from slipping off the jack, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you to jack up. Now just jack the vehicle up until you've got enough clearance and till the wheel's off the ground. Right, I've collected lots of small bits of tree, branches, bark, which works pretty well. Anything basically that's flat, long, and can make a nice sort of ground for the vehicle. What we've started to do here is you just lay as much as you can under the wheel. So basically what you're trying to do is to bring the wheel back up to the original road level. Now this is probably a good time to start using your gloves, because otherwise the wife's going to get very shirty with you. Right, now once you've decided and you've recognised that you have become bogged, one of the first things to worry about, and one of the first things that really should cross your mind, is to basically be alert. Be alert of other traffic around, other dangers, make sure you're not putting yourself at risk, and also be aware and alert to others. Make sure that they're not going to follow you in and get bogged behind you, because then it becomes really tricky, and make sure that you're not going to cause any hassle to them. As you can see, we're actually bogged off the main road, so we're pretty safe where we are. Otherwise, just a few simple things. Turn your hazard lights on, for instance. Make sure that you can be well seen, you're not hidden behind any bushes. If so, it might pay for someone else that's with you to actually go up the road a little bit and just make sure that there's no other traffic coming. Filled that nice little mud pile up with lots of bark and stuff, and I'll slowly release the vehicle back down, not so it sinks back down into its original hole. Now you can see that bark, although it's not as firm as the actual road, it's supporting the vehicle quite nicely. Now, it's just up to you to pull the tools out, give them a bit of a clean before you put them away, and remember that those tools are what could have got you out of a possibly hazardous situation. So the points to remember, of course, again, are be prepared, have the right tools, be alert and alert to others, know your debogging procedures, and I've forgotten the bloody rest of them. Right, now you've got your car out of the bog situation, and it was quite successful at that. But the thing is, you have to remember certain points to make sure that you will get the car out of the bog successfully. Number one point is don't over-bog yourself. As soon as you realise that you're bogged, stop there, turn the car off and get outside and assess the situation. Number 2 point is be alert to others and be alert to yourself, if that makes sense. You have to basically make sure that other people can see you and you can see other people. Make sure there's no dangers around you, anything that's going to cause you danger, or anything that could be a hazardous situation to other road users. Number 3 is be prepared, carry the right tools. Toolbox, the gloves, the shovel, the rope, the spade and the jack are all things that you should really carry with you every time you decide to go in an off-road situation. And another point to remember is keep your cool. Not so much today because it's still pretty close to winter, but in the middle of summer, if you're doing this sort of thing out in the open with no shade around, you might feel that you're starting to get a little bit hot. Start feeling a little bit hot, stop, take a rest, have a drink and resume later, or maybe even wait till the cooler part of the day. It's a great opportunity to settle the kids down, let them have their run around, set up a picnic and feed the kids, keep everyone happy. That's all the points there is to really remember for basic vehicle recovery. The important thing really is that you be educated and you know what you're doing. Because if you know what you're doing, it's going to make a happy outing. Catch us all later. Which shovel's this? It's yours, isn't it, Mick? Do you want it with traditional mud on it?